Okay, so welcome to this session about developing great Scrum Masters. Disclaimer, for the next 3 minutes, I'm going to use what I call my vanity slides. I'm going to tell you about who I am, where I come from, what I do for a living. I feel that in these days of infoxication, where you have so much information everywhere that you don't know who to believe, who to follow, I think it's important that you research the background of the people that are telling you about what you should do with your companies, how you should train your Scrum Masters. Who's this guy telling me how to train and develop my Scrum Masters, how Scrum Masters should develop, okay? But anyway, if you don't like speakers talking about themselves, you can switch off your brain for the next 3 minutes. You can sing your favorite song for you, and I will sign you back when we are over, and then you can reconnect with the talk, okay? So 3 minutes. My name is Angel. It's rather unpronounceable for everyone around the world, except from Spain, Latin countries, and North Africa. Angel, okay? You can say Angel, that's fine. And you have a couple of interesting information here. Here you have my email, okay? So feel free to contact me to ask for anything I talk about in this talk, like videos or materials or books or whatever. And then you have this page, Projectalis, which is my company, .com/English/Angel Medinilla. The reason that's important is that there you have access to all my materials, meaning that the Scrum course is there, the Kanban course is there, the Agile Contracts course is there, the Lean Startup for Agile Product Management course is there, the Coaching Agile Teams course is there, and all the slides of all the talks are there, absolutely available for free. You also have access to some videos and talks and several other stuff. And then you have the Twitter handle, okay? For those of you using Twitter, I'm Angel_M. My hungry ego needs to be fed, okay? So follow me. I need an ego feeding. And it's also nice when you post pictures, okay? It would be nice that I started taking selfies of me saying like, hey, look, how many people looking at me? So if you take pictures of me and you upload it to Twitter, I love that, okay? My ego needs to be fed every single day. I used to put this picture because I was like, oh, it's so badass, okay? Like martial arts, Kaizen culture, continuous improvement. It was a nice picture to start. But then last year in Portugal, I met this lady, Linda Rising from Fearless Change. And she was at one of my talks. And she came after the talk. And she spoke to me and she gave me what now I consider to be my Agile superhero name. She came to me and said, "You're such a crazy Spaniard." So now I call myself the crazy Spaniard, okay? That's my brand. That's what I do for a living, rodeo clown in Agile conferences. So anyway, who am I? Well, I usually consider myself to be a trench consultant in the sense that I'm working with real teams doing real stuff. Sometimes you read the Agile books and they talk about, hey, you have to collaborate with your customer. And then my clients come to me and says, have you met our customer? You tell me I have to collaborate with that guy? So it's easier to read than it's actually to do it, okay? So it's really, really tough to do Scrum and Agile in the real world. I have to tell you that I'm in the real world with real companies and real teams. I've seen pretty much every flavor of software development, from telecommunication industries to banking, including .coms, tourism, mobile applications, retail, I don't know, finance, consulting. So this is what I do for a living, and then there's the thing that gives me the kicks, okay? Which is public speaking. I enjoy so much public speaking. In other life, I would be a stand-up comedian, okay? I will try to keep you engaged and fun, and it's so, so funny, and I do enjoy it. I still cannot make a dime out of it, okay? I cannot earn a living doing public speaking. But still, it's good marketing, and I get to know a lot of talented people, so I'm so happy to be here. And thank you so much for bringing me. What else? I wrote this book, Agile Management, a couple of years ago because I have this feeling that when we start with Scrum and Agile, we bump into the boundaries of the organization, okay? A lot of people believe that Scrum and Agile is something that is done at a team level. It's like the team is a black box, and we insert user stories and coffee, and we get software out of the box, okay? And as a sub-product, we get some sarcasm and some complaints, okay? And I don't believe that Agile is about a black box of being productive, okay? I think that Agile is way more, and we need to transform the organization in order to have Agile enterprises, okay? Agile businesses. And that's why I wrote this book. I also, this year, I published my second book. It's called Agile Kaizen. It's about continuous improvement in Agile environments far beyond doing retrospectives. Retrospectives are nice, but there's much more. We have to improve our process. We have to improve our products. We have to improve our people. We have to create a culture of continuous improvement. Oh, what does Scrum says about that? Not much. Okay, my experience is that people are doing very, very, average to bad retrospectives. I'm running a workshop on Saturday on retrospectives. For those of you who signed up for workshops, it's going to start at 9, okay, a little bit earlier than the rest because I have to catch a plane. But also Luis Gonçalves is going to be with me. He also published a book about retrospectives, so it's going to be fun, and it's going to be interesting, and I guarantee it's going to improve your retrospectives. Anyway, I'm also part of the Management 3.0 Licensed Trainers group, and that's it. Stop vanity slides. Now you can reconnect with the talk, okay? So the talk. Why are we here today? We want, oh, sorry, it's like, I don't know the timing. I'm kind of confused because we have the same slot, and we have to share. I think we have like 50 minutes left, which is way too much. An hour of a talk, it's really boring. 20 minutes is really fast. So I guess I can use like 40 minutes, and for me, that's like piece of cake. I've successfully delivered this talk in 25 minutes, okay? But it was like fast, fast, fast. So here I can take some time, introduce more experience and more stories. So yeah, let's say 40 minutes, and that will give you 10 additional minutes for coffee and lunch. How cool is that? Okay, I'm that generous. So we're here to talk about Scrum Masters, delivering great Scrum Masters. Isn't the name great? Scrum Master of the universe and the Grayskull Castle. Okay, so it's one of the things that the Scrum people did really, really well. Marketing, okay? Certified Scrum Master, okay? Even better than Scrum Master. I'm a master and I'm certified, okay? So it's nice. Everyone likes to be certified and be master or something, especially if you can get that in 2 days. Okay, so enough bashing of the certification scheme. So we're here to talk about Scrum Masters, and there was several, after several rollouts and transformation of Agile and Scrum in several companies, I noticed that most of my clients had problems selecting and training and developing great Scrum Masters. So I started to think about how to help these people. And I started to research in the Agile literature and in the Agile roots to see how Scrum Masters are. When I say Scrum Master, sorry, small thing. Some of you are not doing Scrum, but maybe you have facilitators, XP coaches, Agile coaches, agents of change. So any single time I say Scrum Master, you can change that in your mind for whatever the role is in your company. Okay, so I tried to investigate what's this Scrum Master, HP coach, facilitator role, where it comes from. So I went to the roots. Okay, you have here Nonaka and Takeuchi. Okay, most of you have heard about this neat article that was named, the name was the title, the new product development game. Okay, it was published in Harvard Business Review. I strongly recommend that you get that article and you read it, okay, because the roots are so important and the article is still relevant today. Can anyone tell me what Nonaka and Takeuchi said about the Scrum Master in the new product development game? Remember, these were the guys that coined the term Scrum and Scrum fields. Anyone? What did these guys say about the Scrum Master? They're awesome, nice try. But no, you're wrong. Any other? Try? What did they say about Scrum Master? Nobody? Sorry? Nothing. Correct. 100 Agile points for the gentleman. There's no a single mention to Scrum Masters in the new product development game. What Nonaka and Takeuchi talk about is self-organizing teams, which is a big term in Agile environments. Curious. Probably it was some, I don't know, editing mistake. Probably it didn't fit into the article. They'd say, oh, you have to cut it down because this is the Harvard Business Review. And they say, okay, let's take this Scrum Master thing about, off. I don't know, it was strange. So I decided to go to the only authoritative source in the universe of what's Agile and what's not Agile, which is the Agile Manifesto, okay? This neat piece of literature that is hanging on possibly the worst looking web page in the world, okay? This is like ugly. But anyway, it's like a classic. We're not going to change the design now. And I read the manifesto and I read it again and studied the words and I talked to some people even that was people that signed the manifesto. Can anyone tell me what the manifesto says about the Scrum Master and the Agile Coach? Nothing! Oh my God! Once is an accident, 2 is a coincidence. If I could find 3, that would be a pattern. So I said, let's research a little bit more. And I went to this lovely couple that we had in the front line at the beginning of this talk, at the beginning of this conference, Mary and Tom Poppendick. And I took the Lean Software Development series of books, which is like wisdom in a can. You have to read those books because it's certified and guaranteed that it's going to increase your IQ, okay? If you read these books, you have to do it. And then I read Lean Software Development, and I read again, and I read again, and can anyone tell me what Lean Software Development says about the Scrum Master or the Agile Coach? Nothing again, okay? So what do they talk about? They talk about empowering teams. Well, this is kind of like self-organization again. Oh, my God, this is 3 out of 3. It's a pattern now. So I kept searching, and I bumped into Kanban. Oh, Kanban. David G. Anderson and their guys promoting this Kanban idea, trying to get lean tools, frameworks to help the companies increase their flow efficiency. Mary Poppendick was talking about that this morning. Can anyone tell me what Kanban says about the Scrum Master or the Kanban Master or the Agile Facilitator? Very good answer. I don't know. I would go for nothing. You're right. That was a long shot. Okay. But you're right. Kanban comes from Lean. Lean says empower teams. There's no Scrum Master role or Agile Coach role in Lean, okay? You don't, well, we'll talk about Lean Senseis and things like that. So I was really, really worried by now, okay? I kept searching, and I bumped into Alistair Coburn. I do admire the guy. So I go to his series of books, which are kind of old, okay? It's like 14 years ago. He was writing about Agile. And finally, I found someone in the Agile Manifesto and in the Agile community that was writing about roles. So I went into the roles page, and what do I find? This is out of the Crystal series of books. He talks about sponsor, business expert, user expert, technical facilitator, business analyst, project manager, architect, lead designer, designer, programmer, UI designer, mentor, reuse point, writer, tester, system planning, project monitor, blah, 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 blah. No Scrum Masters, no Agile coaches. And when I say this, I'm like double face palm. It's like, what the? No! With all due respect, but please stop building roles in the company. We are all team members, okay? So I was really, really sad by this point of my research because I couldn't find anything about the Scrum Master and Agile Coach. But then I find XP, Extreme Programming. And Ken Beck and Ron Jeffries in their books, Extreme Programming Explained by Addison Wesley, in page 177, they have this small paragraph that reads, oh yeah, the XP coach watches the process as a whole and calls the team's attention to impending problems or opportunities for improvement. And basically that's it. There's only another mention of the XP coach in the book, or at least this is what I could find, okay? If you can review the book again and send me some feedback, I would love it. But this is the tiny, teeny mention of the coach. And he says about, okay, it's like, review the process as a whole. It's like fuzzy, okay? And then, of course, we have Jeff Sutherland and Ken Schwaber, Scrum. And in Scrum, they introduce the term Scrum Master. So it's like a singularity on the Agile ecosystem. The only similar thing is the XP coach, but in Scrum, they talk about the Scrum Master. And Jeff Sutherland and Ken Schwaber, they are really, really strong-minded, strong opinion about the Scrum Master. You need Scrum Masters. And they say, in the Scrum Guide, okay, they say, Scrum Master does whatever it takes. How cool is that? Whatever it takes. I can imagine a lot of things, like pushing your boss down the stairs, okay? Whatever it takes. To make the Scrum team successful, such as removing organizational impediments, facilitating meetings, acting as a gatekeeper so no one unnecessarily interrupts the team's work. So this is the definition. This is the role description. This is the job description. No wonder that most of my customers, when they were trying to hire Scrum Masters and then when they were trying to understand what a Scrum Master was, if we provided such a small description of what a Scrum Master is, they went like, oh, fuzzy. I don't understand. It's like, I don't know. What are you talking about? They gave me this look that you see in a rabbit when he's flashed by a truck coming, okay? You have this rabbit that is crossing the road and you see the truck coming and they were like, oh my God, should I jump there? Should I jump there? But boom, you're dead, okay? So So this is what was happening at the companies I was coaching when they were trying to promote people to Scrum Masters or to hire Scrum Masters. No wonder, okay, no wonder. Of course, no wonder that a lot of teams were like, we don't need no stinking Scrum Master here. We are the self-organizing team. And by the way, we are switching to Kanban, because in Kanban there's no product planning, and there's no daily meeting, and there's no retrospectives, and there's no board. Oh yeah, no, I mean, there's a board. We love the board, okay? But the other things we can read off, because we don't need that, because Kanban is better, it's non-prescriptive, okay? I do love Kanban, but I feel that 95% of the teams in the world claiming to be Kanban, what they are doing is what I call non-ban, which is not Scrum nor Kanban, okay? It's like Post-its on the wall. Kanban without WIP limits. Oh, that's neat. That's fine. Okay. The only one thing you have to do in Kanban. You have to do two things in Kanban. Limit the work in progress, help the system flow. And then some people are not doing the WIP limits. Not, of course, when I ask Kanban teams, what have you done during the last month in order to improve the system flow? The usual answer is, what's the system flow? So non-ban, Post-its on the wall. Okay, yeah, nice. We're switching to non-ban. No wonder. If we continue this trend, if we don't understand who's the Scrum Master, if we don't see any value on having Scrum Masters in our teams, if we can't find good Scrum Masters, if we can't find the people to promote, if we can't find the way to develop great Scrum Master, my prediction is that Scrum Masters are going to become extinct. True Scrum Masters. You will have people that we have a label that say, yeah, okay, we named someone as a Scrum Master, but true Scrum Mastership is really, really hard to find. Okay, that's the reason that my next book, I suppose that it's probably going to be around this topic, Scrum Mastership. It's very, very difficult to find. And yet some people advocate for getting rid of the Scrum Masters. They say, yeah, it's a good thing that we have no more Scrum Masters, because then we can give all the responsibility to the team. We can give accountability to the team. We can empower the team and hope that the team is going to self-organize. And I'm like, yeah, I've seen you self-organize, okay? And I've seen the results of your self-organization in a lot of time, in a lot of cases, okay? I was in Colombia this weekend and the past week in Agiles, which is the South American, Latin American conference, and I gave a conference about self-organization, a keynote. And I gave some examples, like people that self-organize to stop doing Agile and going back to waterfall. Okay. And then I talk to the managers and I'm like, what are you going to do? And they're like, oh, no, no, we cannot do anything. They are self-organizing, self-organizing. I cannot intervene. That's command and control. And then some teams self-organize to not deliver a piece of software over the next 6 months because we feel we need to refactor and get rid of technical debt. And I talk to the customer and I'm like, are you happy about that? And they're like, no, but you know, they are a self-organizing team and we want to be agile. We cannot mess with a self-organizing team because then we're going to break the agile thing, the agile magic. And then we have some teams where we say, definition of done, all software must be unit tested. Okay, it's fair that we call that all software is unit tested. So these teams deliver like 20,000 lines of code and 1 unit test. And you say, do you feel that this is right? And they are like, yeah, we self-organize to do this. So this is our, and you're like, oh, if you are self-organizing, then well, okay. So this is a problem, okay? Many teams, when they lack the agile maturity that we expect from the agile teams. If you just ask them to self-organize, the results might be suboptimal. It's like, this is an example of self-organization. The mafia, okay? The Sopranos. Mafia is self-organized, okay? You don't get hired by the mafia in a normal, you don't contact the human resources department of the mafia, and you don't apply for a job in the mafia. There's no regular interview, there's no hiring process, okay? And there's no like employee handbook saying how do you I don't know, blackmail people and how do you deal drugs. And it's self-organized. But that doesn't mean that this is a good thing. And you don't want that, you don't want that in your company, okay? So self-organization, I think, is being overhyped. Esther Derby, which is far more knowledgeable than me, says that self-organization is probably one of the most misunderstood and misleading terms of the decade, okay? And I share that conviction. So anyway, self-organization. In self-organization, some people think that self-organization means no more stinky managers. And I've met many of your managers, okay? Not personally you, but several other people around the world that are like you. And I do truly understand this urge to get rid of the managers because they suck, okay? But Self-organization also needs to be managed in order not to have a self-organization with an alignment that is against the company goals and the company targets. You want self-organization in your company to produce something complex, adaptive, that contributes to the goals and the targets and the vision and the mission and you know, the alignment of the company. You want self-organization to help your company, not destroy your company. And in order to do that, self-organization needs boundaries, needs something that limits the amount of self-organization you can have. I think in Conway, which is one of the great theorists about systems theory in the Agile ecosystem especially, he's very well known, and Conway says that self-organization needs a self. So I need to know what is self, what is me, and I need to know the boundaries of my body and my mind and my hands, and this is the self I mean to self-organize. So we have to contain that self-organization. That means that you can have like budget constraints, or you can have time constraints, or you can have customer focused customer value constraints. You cannot just say, oh, we self-organize to create a clone of the Angry Birds because we like Angry Birds. So for the next 6 months, we're going to work on a clone for the Angry Birds. And you're like, yeah, nice, but we are, you know, we are a logistics company. What we need you is to provide the software to, I don't know, manage the warehouse. Oh, no, that's so boring. That sucks. We prefer to do a clone of the Angry Birds. Oh, they are self-organizing. I cannot do that. No, you put some alignment. This is what we are here for. We are here for a customer which are warehouse managers and warehouse crew, and we have to make their lives more comfortable and easier, and we have to find what's value for them. This is Mary Poppendieck's talk this morning. Find what delights your customer. So that's a limit to self-organization. In that sense, I always compare managers in an agile company with football coaches, okay? But the problem is that the football coach uses this word, coach, okay? But I say, no, the coach in a football team, probably he does some coaching, but for most of the time what he's doing is managing the team, in the sense that the team will self-organize to play the match, but you're saying, hey, listen guys, we're playing football, it's going to be on Sunday, it's going to be at 6:30, and we are going to play against Poland, and it's going to be here in the Poland, in the Warsaw Stadium. And that are the constraints. And then the team shows up, and they decide how to play the game, and what's the strategy, and who's going to be the goalkeeper, and things like that. But they don't get to say, nah, we don't like that. We want to play ice hockey on Monday morning in Canada. No, that's not up to you. You don't decide that. Ooh, you're killing self-organization. That's not agile. This is our favorite agile sport, okay? Pointing things out and saying, not agile. All agilists in the world enjoys that. You point everything that is not in your school of thought, and you say, that's not agile, okay? So we need some kind of boundaries and alignment constraints, but the Scrum Master is not a manager, okay? He's not setting the boundaries, he's not setting the rules, he's not setting the constraint or the alignment of the company. That comes from management. Scrum Master probably is closer to what we consider a coach. Imagine martial arts, okay? This is me training with Hiroshi Ikeda Shihan. He's a master of masters in Aikido, okay? So Hiroshi Ikeda is not my manager. He's not putting goals on me or targets or dates or telling me when do I have to train. He's a coach in the sense that he's a leader. He's a mentor. He's a guide. He's someone I could look at in the sense and I can try to find answers to my questions about how to do proper Aikido. Okay, so he's a coach. He's not a manager. So first thing first, we have to stop. When I see Scrum Masters like doing reports and reporting for deadlines and doing personal interviews and performance appraisals, you got it all wrong. This is management stuff, okay? Scrum Master is more in the coach side. But then, of course, we have this word, coach, which is like so overused that it means everything, okay, everything. I had this guy in a big company saying, oh, I just returned from Portugal. I have been delivering some coaching. And I'm like, oh, you are a coach? You are delivering some coaching? I didn't know. What was the coaching about? And he says, Oracle databases. So are you coaching Oracle databases? Like, hello, database, what's your problem today? What are your goals in life? What? I think that everything means, coach means like everything nowadays. So it's a very vague word. So again, we go back to this question. What's the Scrum Master? Who's the Scrum Master? What's this person doing? Who's this person in the organization? And I struggled with this definition of what's a Scrum Master for several years. But then one day I realized that there's no one definition of the Scrum Master and one state we can define as Scrum Master. I was seeing the forums and some people were like, oh yeah, in our company we are rotating the Scrum Master role. Have you ever heard about that? Rotating the Scrum Master? And I'm like, oh, neat. Do you rotate the Chief Executive Officer role too? And they go, no, we don't do that. Oh, do you rotate the Product Owner role? No. Do you rotate the Chief Information Officer role? No. But the Scrum Master, yeah, we rotate that role. It's like, well, it's not a role, you know. It's not like a real role. Chief Executive Officer, oh, that's serious stuff. You cannot rotate that. You need the proper person to do that. But Scrum Master is like, yeah, anyone can be a Scrum Master. And then we had other people saying, no, you are wrong. That's so wrong. You have to have one full-time Scrum Master per team, 100% of the time dedicated to Scrum Mastership. And then some other people were like, you gotta be kidding. There's not enough work to be 100% dedicated to one team. So I had like several different opinions of what was a Scrum Master. And then one day I realized that these people were talking from different points, not only in space, but in time. There were people that were starting with Agile and starting with the Scrum Master role, and there were a lot of people that were on top of the mountain talking about what have they become after 5, 8, 10 years of practicing Agile and Scrum Mastership. No wonder they couldn't agree. There's an evolution on the path of the Scrum Master, and this is the one thing I brought you here. At the beginning, what you have is the ScrumDude. Okay, do you remember the Big Lebowski, the movie? And you have this character played by Jeff Bridges, which is the dude, okay? You have David Hassman around in this conference. He's well known in the Agile ecosystem as the dude because of the resemblance with the dude here, okay? So the dude is like, hey, how are you doing? Let's do daily Scrum, huh? So what have you been doing yesterday? Cool. And what are you doing today? Cool. And any impediments? No? Right. Rad as shit. So what are you doing yesterday? Oh, that's cool. And that's the ScrumDude. Is that the 3 stupid questions on our lady meetings. You don't care about what everyone is really doing. And then 15 minutes later or 20 minutes later, the daily Scrum is done. And the dude stands there like scratching his belly saying, I better do something. I guess I go and code a little. And then he goes and he starts coding. Because that's what he was, a coder. He was a member of the team, and you say, you be the Scrum Master. Okay, neat, rad as shit. That's it, ScrumDude. And then every 2 weeks, the ScrumDude wakes up and says, you know, guys, it's that time of the week again. We have to do retrospective. So he draws pluses, deltas. Anything we're proud of? Anything? Anything we're proud of? No? Okay. Problems we have. Oh yeah, we have this problem, and this problem, and this problem, and this problem, and we're doing all right, and managers are stupid, and our customers are stupid. And so he feels a lot of impediments and problems they have. And I say, whoa, that was a great retrospective. I think retrospective is over. Let's go have a beer. That's it. Okay, that's the ScrumDude. So no wonder people are like, dude, it sucks to be the ScrumDude. You be the ScrumDude next week. I'm tired of being the ScrumDude. So they start rotating this role, okay? So ScrumDude, he basically schedules the meetings. He's a scribe. He takes notes for the team. He does the 3 questions on the daily, and he keeps a list of impediments, and that's basically it, okay? So if you are in that situation, don't worry. We've all been through that, but we need to evolve. We cannot stay there and say, yeah, we have Scrum Masters. You still don't have proper, true Scrum Masters. So in my experience, if you continue enforcing agility and make people learn and evangelize and tell people about what's this thing about, sooner or later, there will be an evolution of one of the Scrum dudes, and he will become the Scrum Mom. And when you have a Scrum Mom in your company, that's like great, okay? Because a Scrum Mom is so powerful. People will call to the Scrum Mom saying, Mommy, the manager told me to drop everything I was doing and work on his project. And the Scrum Mom will say, who told you that? Who told you that? Come here. You told that to my kid? You told that to my kid? And you will have the manager saying, wait, lady, I'm sorry, I didn't know. And everyone will be like, wow, it's cool having a Scrum Mom. Scrum Mom is defending the team. And then when the team has an impediment and the kids are like, oh, mommy, I can't reach the continuous integration server. It's too high. The mom will say, don't worry, kid. I will do the continuous integration server for you. And everyone is like, oh, it's perfect. It's good having a Scrum Mom because now she gets rid of the impediments and she takes all the tough stuff so we get more time to code. That's neat. That's cool. It's great to have a Scrum Mom. But then also, sometimes the team just don't want to do things that are good for them. Okay, so Scrum Mom says, okay, guys, today I want you to eat your vegetables and automate your tests. And people are like, no, we don't like vegetables, and we hate automating your tests. And the Scrum Mom says, you're going to eat your vegetables, and you're going to automate your tests, or you are having them for breakfast tomorrow. And everyone's like, oh, whoa, calm down, okay, we will eat our vegetables, we will automate the tests. And ultimately, they know, like, yeah, okay, it's tough, but it's good we have Scrum Mom here, because if not, we wouldn't do this kind of stuff. So it's cool to have Scrum Mom. And then again, when there's conflict in the team, you imagine two brothers trying to, it's my turn to play with sonar metrics. No, you played with sonar metrics yesterday. Now it's my turn to play with sonar metrics. Then Scrum Mom appears and says, what happens here? No, it's his turn. No, he's being... Say, stop, shut it up. Go to your rooms, start coding and automating tests. Nobody gets to play with the sonar metrics today. Everyone goes to the teams. Thank you. You remember when I told you that I would like to do stand-up comedy in other lives? But the problem is that Scrum Mom is not solving the conflict. She's getting rid of the conflict. That's not good. That never makes the team evolve. They never find a way to solve their conflicts on their own. And also, Scrum Mom is getting rid of impediments. That's cool. But the team is never finding a way to get rid of the impediments on their own. So the problem with the Scrum Mom, which is a good thing to have a Scrum Mom at the beginning, is that it's too comfortable. Okay, Scrum Mom now says, I'm delivering real value to the team. Now I feel that I'm doing something for them. And the team is like, it's cool to have a Scrum Mom because we don't get to, be responsible for all this Agile stuff. We just code, and she will be the one responsible for the Agile stuff. So yes, Scrum Mom is great in the sense that she's a moderator from the team, okay? She's protecting the team, but she's also the one diagnosing and deciding and calling, this is an impediment, we're going to get rid of that. She's still a little bossy. She needs to be a little bossy, because if she just tried the team to do things on their own, the team is not ready yet. They're not mature enough. They don't see the benefits of doing this kind of stuff. So she has to push vegetables and frameworks and automation into the team, even though the team does not want to do that. But you need to evolve them, okay? But the problem, as I said, is don't stay there. Sooner or later, you need true Scrum Mastership in your company. And true Scrum Masters are different from Scrum Moms. For instance, they don't moderate the meetings. No, you have talked, now it's your turn to talk. That's moderation. Okay, we are over, that's it. Facilitation is like, it seems to me that we are stuck on this issue, but I don't know if we are really, really all against that. Who will be in favor of doing a small test? And then everyone raises their hand and they say, okay, so then we are all agreed. Let's stop this issue, move to the other one. That's facilitation. That's not like, stop, what have you done? It's like trying to move the team forward. And also you are showing them how to take quick decisions. You're also like, it seems to me like we are stuck. Can we stop for 3 minutes and each on their own write what they think is the solution to the problem, and then we will put them on the wall and we will try to find similar patterns, and then we will vote that. That's facilitation. I'm not making a statement, I'm not doing an opinion, I'm not forcing you to anything. It's not like you're doing this because I say so, but I facilitate the team to make decisions. Always, when the team starts collaborating, that means they are not coordinated. It's even more than cooperation, it's collaboration. And when we collaborate, we will have different ideas on how do we want to do things. And inevitably, we will have conflict. Not necessarily violent, aggressive, bad conflict, but you want this and I want that, and that's a conflict. So the true Scrum Master will turn that conflict into an opportunity to teach the team how to get into common decisions, lowering the conflict, leaving every emotional or personal issues behind, just focusing on the facts and trying to find something common that we can do and we can try, and then make it time framed. So let's try this for a month, and then if in a month we don't like that, we can try something differently. Okay, so it's like the team starts to understand new ways of collaborating, which means everyone is working on the same stuff. Okay, as Mary said, I see a lot of Agile teams where you have 5 people and each of them is working on a separate project. So where's the team and where's the collaboration? So for me, the true Scrum Master is like a gardener, okay? You select the seeds, you plant the seeds, you nurture the seeds, you protect the seeds from the bugs and the environment. When the plant starts to grow, you prune all the branches that are, not healthy, and then you still nurture that plant. And if the plant is going out, it's starting to bend, then you put a stick, a tutor, and then you wrap up the plant to the stick so you make sure that the plant is growing straight. And this, even if you do that, you don't have 100% guarantees that you will have a tomato that is like an award-winner tomato, but you have more chances. So in that sense, for me, more than team building, which means gives the impression that you can build teams with Lego bricks, okay? It's like, it's team engineering, which is like, oh, it hurts to say that, no? It's more team gardening, it's more team whispering, okay? There's a lot of soft skills involved. This person, the Trust Scrum Master, goes beyond the team. He's an evangelist for the whole organization. He's also a change agent. He's trying to change managers. He's trying to change the customer and the clients. He's trying to change the product owner. And he's also working with those people so they understand more agile ways of working, okay? So it's not only about doing Scrum at a team level. It transcends the team, and it goes also in the way of inter-team collaboration, cross-team collaboration, enterprise agility. That's part of the true Scrum Master's work. Sometimes also the Scrum Masters, the true Scrum Masters, will point out stuff that we need to talk about. And it's uncomfortable stuff. Scrum Mom will say, no, don't talk about that, don't talk about that, don't get started with that. Go to your place, code. But then the true Scrum Master says, no, we need to talk about this. This is a problem and this is affecting the team. And I know it's uncomfortable. We will try to make it as comfortable as possible, but we have to get through this together. So he's bringing the team together and he's making them capable of taking decisions on their own, okay? And then when you have true Scrum Masters, the real magic begins. As this is a model, I like to have some aspirational state, like there's some perfection in the horizon really, really far from here. So I included an Agile Sensei who is sitting in the Agile Nirvana, okay? Sooner or later, you will have someone, and I've met these kind of people, and I've seen really, really serious stuff happening around these Agile Senseis, okay? These people just, they say, no, I just listen. I just go to the team, and just like a fly on the wall, I sit with them, and I just listen to them. And if you master the art of really, really listening to people, getting into people, empathizing with people, then you will find out that being able to do this really transforms people's lives. Usually the problem is that we suck at listening to others. You're talking, but I'm thinking about my next response, okay? But listening to someone not only with your ears, but with your eyes, with your heart, with your mind, with your undivided attention, that usually gives place to several interesting things happening around Agile teams. So let's say there's an aspirational state, and let's say that, in fact, there's an evolution of the Scrum Master role over time. The key here is that, I'm going to skip this slide. The key here is that Scrum Masters, no matter if they are Scrum Mom, true Scrum Masters, they have to be one step beyond the team, but not two, okay? The problem is that if you have an Agile Sensei approaching an immature team and just listening to them and making questions, it doesn't work, according to my experience. Maybe it's because I've seen it done wrong, I don't know, I have limited experience. But I see a coach approaching an immature team and says, well, team, how's your week been? Oh, it's been great. Yeah, why? Oh, because we dropped Agile and Scrum and we went back to Waterfall. And you're like, oh, that's interesting, and why did you do that? Oh, because it feels better. Do you really feel better? Yes. What do you think about the customer? Is the customer feeling better too? Yeah, he's feeling better too. He's getting used to, Gantt charts. He's getting his reports back. Ah, yeah, I see. But do you think this is good for the company? Yeah, sure. We're going to sell a lot more if we look like serious stuff and not this agile, hippie, fluffy, rainbow stuff. I see. But what's this going to do for the product? Oh, it's going to be better because now we have plans. Yeah, but what if we have to adapt to change? No, but there's not going to be any change. And you say to yourself, freak, this coaching thing is not working. They are not seeing the problem, okay? And the problem here is that this kind of immature teams, and please don't get offended, this is mature people, but as a team, they haven't had the time to evolve over Tuckman's model, okay? Forming, storming, norming, performing. Some of you will know about that. They haven't had enough time to become a real gel team. So that's why I call them an immature team. And an immature team doesn't need an agile sensei coach in full listening mode. They need a Scrum Mom, okay? It's like you have a 5-year-old kid, you don't give him a credit card and the keys for the car and say to your kid, figure out your way to college, okay? Now it's your responsibilization. You self-organize your way to college. That kid's gonna die, okay? Instead of that, you have to progressively delegate and progressively facilitate that kid. For instance, I have a story I love to talk about my own kid, okay? When my kid was 4-year-old, I used to grab him to the corner where the school bus was passing by, okay? So I had to go a long road across my street, then I had to go past a square, okay, a block, and then we crossed another street, which was it's a bigger street, and then there was the bus stop. So at the beginning, I was holding his hand, and I will stop in every junction, in every cross, and I will look for the cars, and I will say, see, uncle, you have to look for the cars, because this is very important, and then we will cross the street, and then we will go that way, and that's it. But then, when he was 4.5, I started saying, please, uncle, I'm not going to grab your hand, but you're going to walk behind me. I don't want you to go beyond me, because I want to be, protecting you. And he says, okay. And I saw that he was actually following me, and he didn't run like hell or something, which means he's not prepared. But he was actually walking behind me, and he was following looking the cars and everything. So one day, 4 years and 3/4, I would say, okay, now you go first, and I will behind you, and you show me the way. And I will see that he approached the street, and maybe he was not looking. I will say, Angel. I say, what? The street, the cars. Oh, yes, Daddy, sorry, I forgot. So he will look to one side and to the other, exaggerating the sign. So see, Daddy, I'm looking for the cars. Okay, perfect. And I will see that he knew the route. He's not going to get lost. He knows how to get to the bus stop. So then one day, it's his 5th birthday. Okay, he's 5-year-old. So I go to him and I say, Angel, now you are 5-year-olds. You are a grown-up man. You are a mature person. Way more mature than half the software teams I meet in my work. Okay. Sorry, that was a joke. So here you are, €1, a coin. So now it's your turn to go alone to the bus stop, because there was a candy shop behind the bus stop. You go alone on your own, and then you buy some candy, and you come back. Really, Daddy, I'm going alone? Yeah, you're 5 now. You're a grown-up adult. Okay, so it's your turn to take decisions. So here it goes, my kid with a coin, and here's her mother and me looking on the door, terrified. So he goes to the first crossing, he looks once, he looks again, he crosses, he goes, and then he goes around the block, and we can't see him anymore. And those are the 5 more terrifying minutes of your life. And you start thinking about everything that could happen. And when I say everything, I include velociraptors breaking up their cages and raiding little kids, okay? And, meteorites, alien invasions, I don't know, the rapture happening, I don't know. And it's been 30 seconds, and her mother starts saying, it's been too long. I mean, he should be back. Wait for it. That's a minute. That's a full minute. I mean, that's enough time to buy some candy. He's not back. Let's go search for him. And I'm like, no, we have to wait. And then 5 minutes later, he appears over the corner, and he has a Kinder chocolate. And his look and his face looks like he just killed a bear with his bare hands. He's like, Daddy, look what I got. He's so proud of himself. And I was so proud of him. I'm proud of him right now, okay? So I feel that this is the way you coach teams to be self-organized and responsible and accountable. You just don't say on a Monday morning, okay, you are 18 years old, you've never gone out of your home, but here you are. Keys, credit card, some condoms. Take smart decisions. That's a recipe for disaster, okay? And this is what I see in many companies. On Monday morning, we are going agile. So now you are a self-organized team, Agile Nirvana. It doesn't work that way, okay? So in order to close the talk, and I'm approaching the deadline, I also wanted to, this is an upgraded model I developed last week in Agiles. You can search in my webpage, projectalis.com/en/Angel Medinilla, or in slicer.net for Medinilla or Projectalis. And there's a talk that is called Unicorns, Krakens, Self-Organized Teams, and Other Mythological Beasts, okay? And it's about self-organization, and there's a lot of other stuff, including cultural issues, including progressive delegation issues, including some things you have to do while your team progresses in order to have better self-organization. But anyway, how do we select these people? How do we select proper Scrum Masters and proper Agile coaches? Ken Beck, also in the book, I mentioned that there was pages 73 and 64, and page 145, I compiled 3 sentences where they say things like, okay, it's a good communicator, it's calm, it's not easily panicked. He also talks about technically skilled, he's a development partner, and he also talks about he knows the process and he's able to explain Agile to the managers. So for me, those are like 3 dimensions, and these 3 dimensions include technical stuff, include Agile stuff, and include human stuff, okay, like being able to communicate and empathize and work with other human beings. And my experience is that it's very difficult to find someone that had the 3 of them, okay? So usually you can spot people that are good in 2 dimensions. For instance, if you have someone that is very good technically and is very good in Agile, but he's not very good on the interpersonal thing, that's a bender, okay? It's like, death to all human beings, okay? Get rid of managers. The important thing is the beauty of the code. So usually these kind of people are like extremists and zealots, and you don't want those people to become Scrum Masters because they are going to call for anarchy and rebellion, and they are not going to be really realigned. And they're going to piss off a lot of people because they are not very good. They are very smart, but when they try to impose their ideas into others because they are so convinced that this is a good idea, they usually get a lot of resistance because they lack interpersonal skills. So this is not a very good it's not a very good choice. Then you have someone that is good in Agile. He's very, very good at human interactions. He's just outdated. That could be my case, okay? I don't have Kung Fu in my hands anymore. I was a programmer once, and I could do like rad stuff. But right now, I'm like kind of more disconnected from the technical side. Okay, then here you have to be like caution. Some people in the Agile ecosystem, I'm thinking about Alan Simon, which is, comes from theater and a lot of improvisation, and he's an absolutely wonderful coach. You have people like, I don't know what's the background, but I feel that there's a lot of people you can research. There's a lot of people that have written Agile books, and they are not programmers, they are not testers. They cannot write a single line of code, but they are very, very good at teams. I mean, Timothy Lister and Tom DeMarco, I don't believe they are programmers, okay? And still, you can find very, very good people here. You just have to be cautious. And then, of course, you have people that are very good technically and are very, very good at personal interactions. They are like leaders for the people, but they lack the Agile knowledge. Well, these are very good candidates. The one thing that is easier to learn in these 3 dimensions is Agile. It's not easy, it's hard, but it's way more easy than learning technical stuff or learning to be a proper human being. That's tough, okay? Netflix has a rule in their building, in their culture, that reads, no brilliant jerks, okay? Because yeah, they say, some people are brilliant, but they're jerks. We don't want that people around. Because you can take average to good person and teach them to be brilliant, but when someone is a jerk, telling that person and teaching that person not to be a jerk, that's very, very tough, okay? It needs a lot of time, it needs a lot of skills, and it needs that person to realize that he's a jerk and try to become something different, okay? There's this joke that this guy that goes to the doctor and says, doctor, do I have Asperger's syndrome? And the doctor says, no, your condition is much worse. You realize you are stupid, okay? So you realize that you are a jerk. So if you have people that are not jerks and they know a lot of technology, Agile is the most easy thing to learn from these 3 dimensions. And for each of them, what you have to do is find out where is your Scrum Master and try to move into the center. Of course, you can find someone here that is a unicorn. I mean, he's very, very good at everything. He's very good at personal, he's very good technically, he's very good at Agile. Usually that people become independent consultants, okay? So they are not going to work for you, or it's going to be expensive, okay? So it's a better chance to find where is your Scrum Master and try to move into the center. So these slides are online, okay? So I see a lot of you taking pictures. So perfectly okay. Be sure to get my good side, okay? But if you have someone here that needs to know about Agile, well, send him to Congress like this one. Send him to events. Make him a member of the community. Send him to training. Send him to certification. I don't believe in certifications, but it's true that when you have this certified Scrum Master thing, now you want to play with Scrum because you know what? I am certified. Let's do this stuff. Okay, so yeah, sometimes certifications act as a catalyzer for other changes happening in the company. Or you have several online resources, you have big names, you have books. You can ask to go to a company where they are very, very good at Agile and work for them for some time. There's a lot of desk surfing happening between Agile companies. Desk surfing means that, for instance, I will see, oh, I like your company. What are you doing? Oh, I'm doing online travel agency. And I will say, well, I'm logistics, so it's nothing, we are not competing. So why, let's do something. I will go work in your company for a month. Then you will come work in my company for a month. And I will learn a lot of things from your company, and you will learn a lot of things from my company. Usually, according to my experience, Agile companies are very, very open to share their stuff and their knowledge with other people. Okay? So it's something you can do also to develop your technically proficient human beings to be more agile. Then if you have someone that knows a lot about Agile and about people, but he's not very good technically, okay, that could be my case, for instance. What do? Well, you try to pair that person with technical people. You try to make him learn the basis on what we are doing here to understand infrastructure, understand the technologies. Maybe not be able to do it yourself, but understand what we're doing. Understand the layers and the infrastructure and environments and the architecture and all that. Also, if you want this person to be able to import techniques, there's a lot of books, tools, resources that you can share with that person. I'm not in the state where I can do code anymore. But when I see code, I can tell clean code from spaghetti logic, nest of rats code, okay? And I can explain to people what cyclomatic complexity is, and I can explain to people what metrics do we need to have in order I can tell people why duplication of code is bad, even if I'm not programming, okay? So what I try to do is learn more from this side so I have more value to offer to my customers. And then if you have someone here, which is a bad place to be, and you need to push that person to be better at working with other humans, that's tough, but there's stuff, okay? You can send that person to coaching training, you can teach him about psychology, you can train that person about empathy, emotional intelligence, neuroscience. There's a lot of stuff also, even meditation, okay, which is an amazing resource. Being able to hold yourself and observe yourself and see what you're doing wrong and realize what you're doing wrong, that's something that will transform your brain and your character. So yeah, there's something that you can do, like mentorship and collaborating with people and facilitation and everything else. So as a wrap up, and this is the end, I will say I would like you to keep like 4 or 5 clear ideas. One is that the Scrum Master's biggest role is to help the team to mature, to grow, to achieve productive and successful self-organization. If I feel that when Scrum Masters talk about deadlines and about costs, it's a smell, okay? It's like, let's ask the Scrum Master about if the team is about the team velocity and about the productivity of the team and who's productive on the team, who's not. That's not Scrum Master talk. That's product owner's talk or maybe manager's talk. For a Scrum Master, if you say, hey, Scrum Master, are we meeting the deadline? The proper answer is, what's a deadline? I don't care about deadlines. All the company is caring about deadlines. You don't need another person caring about deadlines. What I care about is the team of the future. I'm thinking about 2015's team, and I know where I want to see the team in a year's time, and I'm working hard to see that in a year's time. So this is someone that works on the long term. Then the second thing I want you to understand is that there's an evolution. If you have ScrumDudes, try to find a Scrum Mom. If you are a Scrum Mom, there's a lot of people that after this talk, they come to me and they say, I realized that I'm a Scrum Mom, and they are like so frustrated. No, that's a good thing. You took the torch, okay? You decided you want to do something for the team. Congratulations and thank you. But don't stay there. Start to find ways to delegate responsibility into your team and to engage your teams into being the ones that take responsibility and the ones who remove impediments and the ones who learn and propose new things, okay? This is your role. And then you have to understand that you always have to be one step beyond. Don't try to be coach, agile sensei with a very mature team. At the beginning, they probably need some hard rules saying we are doing this framework, okay, over time. Or maybe we are starting with retrospectives. No matter what you think, we're doing retrospectives. And in the retrospective, we're going to talk about what hurts the team, where's the pain. And I'm going to propose ideas on how to lower that pain. Even if you don't want to. That's my role. That's a Scrum Mom. You're pushing things into the team, even if they don't want to. Okay? So there's an evolution. Don't stay there, but understand that there's several steps that you have to walk. So the last thing I wanted to share with you is try to find where are you as a Scrum Master, or where's your Scrum Master standing, and then try to move him to the center. If he's lacking interpersonal skills, help him with that. If he's lacking technical knowledge, help him with that. If he's lacking agile knowledge, help him with that. Okay, so these are the 4 things I wanted to share with you. I guess I finally use all the time. Sorry, I don't want to be in your way to the lunch, but that was it. Thank you so much.